Good evening and welcome to the 8th year in the life of the National Australia Bank's Ethnic Business Awards. This has grown way past the point of being seen merely as a symbol of multicultural business acumen. It's really developed into a kind of annual high watermark for the level of tolerance and understanding in this country. Conflicts may rage overseas, but on the home front at least, most of us seem to be able to accept and indeed rejoice in the individuality and the difference of our fellow human beings. Now, of course, over the last century, Australians have become some of the most prolific travellers on earth. The big overseas trip was, and still is, I think, a crucial rite of passage for many young Australians. And this could partly explain our multicultural success. It's a sure bet that many of the backpackers of a generation ago have become the business people, the politicians and the power brokers of today. And it's been a useful two-way street. The Australian gateway opened to young people of many nations who saw the extraordinary possibilities here and returned to live, and in turn young Australians enriched by exposure to other cultures. And of course, in my view anyway, the Australian character has emerged as a rich beneficiary, thriving within an increasingly rewarding and complex culture. Ethnic diversity is now by and large seen as a plus, whereas it was once an oddity within an Anglo-Celtic group. Just 8 years ago now, the National's Ethnic Business Awards began as a recognition that some of us at least came from other places, bringing cultural differences and many new skills to share with Australia. All finalists that you'll meet tonight have had to make a huge sacrifice. They've traded their native homeland for a vast unknown country. That they're here tonight proves their dedication and their tenacity in embracing the culture of Australia and their spirit of sharing by adding their own distinctive layers to this very modern nation of ours. Now, I know that the media is hardly well known for revelling in good news stories. So it's a particular pleasure for me to be here tonight and involved in the awards presentation, because it seems to me that it is the embodiment of Australia at its very best, with its tolerance, its warmth and its diversity all on view. Now, here in Melbourne's Grand Hyatt, as I look around tonight, I'm confronted by an audience that demonstrates just this diversity. Tonight we have more than 50 nationalities represented here in this room, all of them now Australians. And we're reaching out to many more via the SBS telecast that's beaming the program to 18 countries and territories throughout Southeast Asia via Australia Television. There's also a radio simulcast to dozens of Australia-wide community radio stations that are receiving us via ComradSat. Now, before we begin tonight's awards, I would like to give you a quick reminder of the way the competition has been conducted. Eligibility is open to any Australian citizen or permanent resident not born in Australia who owns and operates a business here. Our finalists represent every state and territory, as you'll see. Now, business has been classified very simply into two categories: manufacturing and non-manufacturing. There'll also be a Productive Diversity Award. And this year, for the first time, we are introducing a Cultural Diversity in the Arts Award. It'll go to a person who has made an outstanding contribution to community relations through arts activities, but more of that later. Each stage of the awards has involved sifting through hundreds of marvellous stories. And it's with great pleasure tonight that I introduce to you our national judging panel, all of whom have given much to the community through their own business endeavours and the sharing of their skills. Leading contributor to Media and Education, Chairman of SBS, Sir Nicholas Shahady. Internationally acclaimed fashion designer, whose name is synonymous with style, Carla Zampatti. Organising Secretary of the Sydney Chinatown Chamber of Commerce, and a man who's given me a history lesson tonight as I've sat beside him, King Fong. And lastly, here in spirit, though unable to be here with us tonight, the tireless John Saunders. Now, without the dedication and the expertise of our eminent judges, there simply would be no meaning in these awards, and we thank them sincerely. And I would like also to welcome the Prime Minister, the Honourable Paul Keating, and Senator Richard Alston, representing the Honourable John Howard, Leader of the Coalition.